summer in Paris. The games can't begin.
Oh, I'll save the games.
Yeah, I walk the path less taken, making my way through the cold, breaking this cycle, not making forsaken numerous souls. They try to
What up, what up?
wondering will he fold, asking me if I'll give up.
One person here right now.
It's too easy to stop, it's too simple to quit. So set your goals, find the signal, they concentrate and commit. Deep in the middle of trouble, the agony.
I'm going to talk a bit about men's mental health. Share some experiences. Do it 5 minutes and see if anyone joins. The difference is I'm the truth and these other cats pretend. The evidence is the proof, you're the acclamation, amen. I walk the path less taken, making my way through the cold, breaking the cycle, not making forsaken numerous souls. They try to end me and hurt me, wondering will he fold, asking me if I'll give up and I answer back hell no. I walk the path less taken, making my way through the cold, breaking the cycle, not making forsaken numerous souls. They try to end me and hurt me, wondering will he fold, asking me if I'll give up and I answer back hell no. My native tongue is the rhymes, speech and lyrics collide. You'll hear this bona fide sound that you just cannot deny. Divide the real from the fake. Ringside test the strength and feel the fortified flow. Qualified is great. Real heads relate to the lyrics I throw. Cause I'm speaking from a place of struggle everyone knows. The hardest times are the best. And right now is my chance to enjoy every minute cause this moment will pass. They say nothing lasts forever but my music lives on. Heard long for generations after I'm dead and gone. I make songs of redemption so the protection is strong. So when you mention my name you know that you can't go wrong. Jay Vengeance the king. Up on the board I see Hans. In the ring I swing violently, dropping lyrical bombs. Build my empire. Anthony, respect from Wales, UK. Thanks, my friend. I appreciate that. Let me know if you're tuning in about. I'm going to do a video, just talk about men's mental health. Just waiting to see if a few people will come in. But let me know if you're sticking around. Do you do any training, Anthony? 13 people, right. Big salute, everyone. Let's talk about men's mental health. 13 people, comment, like, do it all. I want to be able to talk to you and communicate with you guys. I'm just going to be talking about men's mental health, and I thought it's a topic that I wanted to share. Just share some of my recent thoughts and experiences on men's mental health. And yeah, and I want to see if anything resonates with any of you guys and how it makes you feel, etc. Yo, what's good? G Raps, what's up, my bro? Big up. Oh no, I just had surgery Wednesday. Ah, mate, you had surgery. What was the surgery on? Let me know. So, men's mental health. So, I think in this world, we're at a disadvantage. Men are at a disadvantage when it comes to men's mental health. Now, I don't know what ages you guys are. Anthony, Raps, I don't know what kind of age you guys are. But if you are the generation that sort of proceeds below, that above us. Oh, cancer, oh, mate. Well, I wish you all the very best. I hope you do get well soon. My prayers are with you, my friend. Fingers crossed. Hope you get well, man. Oh, cancer. Man. Wish you all the best, my friend. Wish you all the very best. Jack Deal, 20 from Glasgow. Big respect, big respect. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. So yeah, men's mental health. I think men are at a disadvantage. In my opinion, what makes it difficult for men is the responsibility that we uphold, or we're expected to uphold within our generation. By that I mean the masculinity in men
the masculine vibes that we carry as men is now being, I'm not saying it's not being reduced. I think it's now being questioned a lot about masculinity, and it's being toxic, and it doesn't work for this world. And we're expected to sort of embrace femininity and feminine sort of feelings, emotions, etc. Perhaps 2014, bro. Is that your age? Is that when you were born? Gen Z. So yeah, okay. Thanks, Anthony. So yeah, I think we're at a disadvantage when it comes to men's mental health for that reason. Let's look at what I want to talk about is, let's look at the generation above us. Generation above us in the 70s, 80s, 90s, there was no concept of men's mental health. There was no concept of mental health, full stop. Nobody spoke about mental health. So you think of your mind, yeah? Think of your mind right now. Yeah? Your mind right now, you could be going through all sorts. The thoughts in your mind, you might have more time to think, your self-awareness, you have more of a capability to be able to understand what goes on in your mind, right? Salute, Anthony. Thanks, my friend. Please carry on listening. Really appreciate it. Now, in today's world, we have all of the technology that tells us this is, you've got everything connected to something in relation to your mind. So like in this sort of day and age, if we feel we're struggling with something, we're able to do the research and go, I feel I'm struggling with this, or I'm struggling with this. What does it mean? And then they were able to give you a definition, whether it's a condition, whether it's just a pattern in your mind, etc. Completely agree. Stigma on mental health with the older generation. There is a stigma, 100%, man. And it's difficult for my generation and Generation Z. It's even harder for you guys, man, because you're exposed to so much social media. You're exposed to so much information. You're exposed to a world that is meant to downgrade us. It's meant to make us feel like shit, right? The social media in your day. So Rap said you're 2014, yeah? Before you were born, there was internet. In about 2007, 2008, 2009. And that's where social media... Yeti, the docs. Yeti, salute, my friend. So yeah, I was just talking about internet. Sort of the 90s, right? And in the early 2000s, especially, and mid-2000s, there was internet. Social media started to become something. You had your MSN Messenger service, you had Facebook, you had YouTube, which is just a platform to upload videos. There wasn't really, I don't think there was much of Instagram or anything. There was like Bebo, High Five. And you'd see those social media platforms as just a way to connect to somebody, because that's how it was interpreted. That's how it was defined, is that in social media world, in that sort of time, if you want somebody to just connect with someone because you can't connect to them over the phone, they're on a different country, they open this platform to be able to connect with friends and family. And that's all it was known for. All of a sudden, as time has gone on, social media is now, they've incorporated a load of shit with it. There's so much shit in social media now that it's just a platform for people who can get easily triggered, who look at social media and it impacts their self-worth. When you go on social media, if you cannot control what you see, and if you cannot control your activity on social media, the moment it connects to your self-worth, you are going to feel like shit. So let's use an example of TikTok, Snapchat. Like, I'm not going to ask you to tell me, right? How many of you go on social media and there's something that you don't like that you get triggered by, so you have to comment? Or there's a quotes in social media, that you can read and whatnot. How many of you resonate with that and think, yeah, that's me? How many of you connect those quotes to your own self-worth? How many of you go on social media to be able to make yourself feel better? But social media isn't designed to make you feel better. Social media is designed to make you feel toxic. It's meant to make you feel like shit. That's what it's designed to do. It's designed to grab your attention. It's designed to make you think bad about yourself. So if you don't control your social media and your usage, look how it brings you in, it lures you in. The addiction to social media, I need to scroll, or I feel like shit, I need some validation. I'm going to go on social media, I'm going to communicate with someone, I'm going to check through videos aimlessly. So like social media is a toxic place for everyone today. Like we go on it, right? And don't get me wrong, I go on it sometimes and it makes me feel like sometimes I look at some quotes and I think, yeah, I resonate with that. That's what's going on in my life. But if you saw social media in the 90s, it's just 90s and 2000s, just a way to connect with families and friends, maybe upload some photos. You know, you're just interacting with people that you know, that you want to connect with from abroad. Okay, maybe a few friends, but all of a sudden now, social media is now a life for a lot of people. People see it as business, so they're manipulating people in order to pay for their business. It's just so toxic. I'm just going to go with some of these comments. Stigo mental health, yeah. Born in the 80s, right between the two. The new era. That is, you know what? I'm really interested to hear what you say about this, because in the new era, right, the overlap between 80s and 90s, where you were able to go outside and there was no technology, no nothing. You were always aware. You was always focused. It didn't impact your mind. You didn't have any addictions to anything in terms of like your phone or whatever. How does it make you feel now that you're in social media, in like a technology world? How has it made you feel? I really want you to tell me that. If you can tell me that, or if you don't feel like it's too much, then let me know. I really want to know your thoughts from the 80s to now and how social media is impacted. I'd really want to know about that. Anthony, I've only have YouTube. You know what? YouTube, again, I think YouTube, it depends. What do you follow on social media? The thing is with YouTube, right, is you look at these thumbnails and you look at these titles, they're designed to lure you in. Do you know what I mean? So I've seen like podcasts that are telling you things like, oh, you're doing this wrong, or you're training like this wrong. This is how you're meant to do pull-ups. Or even things like addiction, and here's how you get rid of addiction, or your mind is lying to you, and all this kind of garbage that people just want you to listen into their video so they can get their watch time, so they can get paid. So they're preying on the individual using YouTube. What that means is that they're taking away the authenticity and the honesty of people using social media. And let's just say YouTube, for example, right? So for example, there's a lot of podcasts now that have got like 1 million+ views, and you see the title is designed to lure you in. So like, if you think about it from a mental health perspective, if you see something that I don't know, it could be there will be so many influencers, right? There's all these bullshit influencers. Influencers is honestly, it's the biggest bullshit I've ever heard in my life. You're an influencer because what? You put you just say some crap on social media and thinking that you're right. What is an influencer? It's a bunch of garbage. Influencing is a bunch of garbage, right? These influencers, what they do is they think, I've got a business model on YouTube, so I need to be able to get people to watch my content so that I can get paid. Where's the honesty and authenticity in that? So it could be any topic that resonates with you, right? The topics that resonate with you can impact your mental health because of the fact that this topic will say, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, here's how you meant to do this, here's how you meant to do that. What you don't do is you listen to these people and it distorts your own reality. It's a form of gaslighting, saying, oh, like, for example, those kind of things, the social media is just like YouTube is a trap for people just to view, for you to view their content. That is it. How's that impact your mental health? Because sometimes you're thinking about self-worth, right? You look at your own self-worth and then you think, in order to build my self-worth, I must do this, and this, right? And that works for me. As soon as some influencer, you go on YouTube and some influencer goes, no, you're doing this wrong. How the hell is that meant to make you feel? It's meant to make you feel like shit. Because what it does is that it takes you away from your authentic self and your own beliefs, right? So the way I see YouTube and social media is always think about what works best for you and don't pay attention to these bullshit influencers, yeah, that tell you that you're doing this wrong or you must do this, you must do it like this. It's even things like for food. It's like you shouldn't eat loads of eggs. You shouldn't eat loads of chicken. Like, what the fuck, man? It's all garbage. It's all garbage for you to watch their content, right? And honesty and authenticity has disappeared in social media, in social media land. And that's why it impacts mental health, because if you're not true to yourself, you are seeking answers from people online who you don't know. So like you've got people that you consider role models that you lead up to, right? So for example, burpees, like I do burpees, right, and all that. I follow from Iron Wolf, right? I look for people who are authentic and honest with their content, who showcase the hard work that they do and don't spread bullshit for clicks, right? That's why I've joined this burpee community, because I know we're a group of honest, hardworking people, right? And there's authenticity, there's honesty. We just upload our content just to be able to make people, spread that message of discipline, hard work. What we're doing is we're staying true to ourselves. But the moment you give in to these bullshit influencers and they say, oh, you must do this, or, you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong, it distorts your own reality and it doubts you. You doubt you doubt yourself. So how you use social media is so important, because when you're addicted to it, subconsciously your mind is patterned saying, I need my phone, I need my phone. So when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that you may do? Subconsciously, I got my phone, I'm gonna check my social media and scroll up, and then I'll get up. Don't do that, because that distorts your focus for the day ahead, and you set the precedence of checking your phone each and every time. Those distractions, it distorts your focus and it distorts your reality. That's what mobile phones do. And that impacts your mental health as well. But look at the crap you might scroll on your newsfeed. Why would you want to damage your own self-worth and damage how you feel on the day by looking at crap on social media that's meant to make you feel bad? It's a toxic place. Just go at some of the comments. Docs, social media makes me feel poor when all I see is get rich quick grifters. Yeah, bro. I've only been on Instagram for about 5 months and it's terrible for that shit. Bro, honestly, these influencers, it's those of here's how to get rich quick within 5 minutes and all that rubbish. It makes you take away your authenticity and your honesty and your own beliefs of what works for you. And it takes you away from the real world. Like you will think here's one way to get rich, or you watch all these influencers on social media think, oh, their life's good. Their life looks amazing. Social media is just a moment in time. What you've got to realize, people's photos and pictures, right? And you will know in the back of your mind how it makes you feel. Are you happy for them? Do you envy them? Are you jealous of them? You will know that in your mind of how you react when you scroll through social media and you see people being happy. I'm going to tell you right now, it's just a moment in time, and I guarantee you their life is probably just as miserable as ours. If we look at it from the perspective of me being a miserable person and I'm looking at them and I'm feeling jealous and envy, recognize that is a moment in time and they're likely to be just as miserable as you are and just as miserable as me. So that's why social media distorts your reality. It impacts your mental health. Social media is designed to place a sort of a string on your mental health. So if you are not consciously aware and self-aware of what's toxic for you, social media being that, it's going to impact your mental health and how you see yourself and what you believe in. Anthony from early 1970s. Oh, bro, you must have gone through a lot of generations. Wow. 1970s. I was born in the 1990s. So, bro, can't even imagine what it might have been like for you in terms of the difference of how technology has transformed your life in the sense of communications, in the sense of how people no longer interact and connect with people anymore, like face to face. Like go around and have, you play your cards, or you get around with your group of boys and have a few beers. In the morning you're chilling out in the street, or you call up to say meet here at 9 o'clock. We're all going to be around the street in the block. All that sort of stuff. And now all of a sudden it's all through your phones, and nobody wants to talk face to face anymore. I want to know if that is true and what you think about that. Namaste, I've been listening to you. You're correct. Social media is very toxic. It really is. But the most important thing is to recognize that it's toxic, because the problem is with those on social media, their subconscious is driving their activity. So consciously, if you are aware that what you're doing right now, whether that be on social media scrolling, is toxic, you adopt that habit to stop. But it's very difficult. I'm not even saying here, if you do that, everything's going to be all right. It's hard. Social media is designed to keep you addicted, and it's hard. And what's worse about it is your friends and family only communicate through those social media and phones now. So you can't get off your phone if you don't want to, unless you want time to. But if you want to speak to people, you don't say to your boy now, pick up the landline and go, bro, come down. It's like, come down, you go on your phone and do your texting, and people are not wanting to meet up anymore. So social media has impacted just society. I detect northern accent in your speech. I'm a Londoner. I'm actually in London. I've got a bit of a London accent, but I'm a Brummie, and I don't like my Brummie accent. But when I'm in Brum, my accent comes out, but I don't like my Brummie accent. Paradox, my ego gets jealous, but then my spirit reminds me that family loves the true wrath. Yeah, bro. I mean, you know what? It does play on social media. Does play on your ego, because you do get jealous. Because what you recognize on when you go on social media and you see that moment in time, you automatically connect that to your own life and think, my life, shit. Look at that guy. They're on a yacht and they're doing this, they're doing that. But you've got to recognize, if you think about it, it's just a moment in time. They go, let me click a selfie here. Let me put some filters on. Let me put some effects on to make it look good. If you recognize that is what they're doing, it's all effects, it's all filters. It's not the real world is the ultimate thing. It's not the real world, brother. That's why I try and say to myself, people see, you've got to keep yourself honest and recognize it's just that social media is a bunch of crap, but we do connect with it all the time. And it's all about what and who you follow. If you want to use social media for podcasts that you want to connect with, or we do our training, we watch Iron Wolf, I watch your videos, I watch Simon's videos. That is healthy for me, because I know what I'm getting out of my YouTube, and it's healthy things, not crap from influencers telling you getting Bitcoin right now, you learn £100,000 in 24 hours and all that crap. They're just all marketing ploys. So you've got to see social media for what it is. Fuck around and find out. Why did I say that? I've sworn a few times. Say bottle of water. Bottle of water. Might be a bit of London. Spark Hill. No, I'm in Moseley, bro. I'm in Moseley. I live in Moseley, Birmingham, but I'm in London as well because I work here. So that's social media. Let's talk about the disadvantage that men have. In the 80s, 70s, go back in the day. Let's go back in the day. Men were the breadwinners of the family. They had a certain way of living. They had a purpose, which was to look after their family, which was to go to work their socks off, and bring the money home. That's it. That's it. So their brain, no matter what it is they're going through, you got to think about whatever their brain is going through the subconscious plays a major role in those days. It must have done, because nobody knows what subconscious is, but subconscious is basically your thinking patterns. Your pattern to think. You have a patterned way of thinking, and that's they had no control over anything when it came to understanding what their thoughts are, or what is it I'm feeling. I'm feeling a bit low. I'm just sort of preempting, but I've had some conversations, and I'm sure, because you've got to look at the things like this. Randy left-handy. Yeah. I know everyone means what subconscious means. I'm just giving some examples. Is that back in the day, if men were the breadwinners, right, whatever they felt about their emotions, or, coming up to the 80s and 90s, their purpose meant that they couldn't stop. Their purpose had to continue so they could provide for their family, right? And that, if you think about it, that, in my opinion, would have been the smooth way of living, because their men had to work really hard. My father was born in the 60s, 50s, late 50s. He's told me how difficult it was back in the day. Nobody talked about mental health. Everyone followed the pack, if that makes sense, in the sense of you have to work, you have to, no excuses. If you had children, you had to bring them up the best the way you can. Off Church Road, Queenwood Road. I don't know where mostly on Church Road. Yeah. Church Road. I remember. Yeah. I remember that. You're born in the early 70s. Paradox 83. Yeah, man. I'm in the 90s, and I'm glad that I saw a world without social media. Can you imagine? Like, I think there was someone called was it Raps, who was he said he was born 2014, and it's like he's only seen social media, he's only seen mobile phones. Mad, isn't it? So yeah, I think what I'm getting at is, for the 70s, 80s, 90s, back in the day, where men had a purpose to carry on, to do what they were asked to do, or what they knew they had to do. And why is it difficult now? Is because this masculine energy that men always had, that we were purely masculine, that is now being questioned, because the definition of the feminine energies, right? Talking about is the feminine energies of, it's a feminine, if you define feminine, right? Giving yourself permission to rest, giving yourself permission to chill, being able to express how you feel. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Just to let you know, I don't know if you do any training, but tomorrow at 8 p.m. I'm releasing a fitness library. That's a cheeky plug. I'm sorry. So if you wanted to see it, if you wanted to have access to some fitness content and some of the workouts, then tune in. So yeah, and being able to now the mental health dynamic in today's world, there's always the content around mental health and everything is widespread now. It's absolutely widespread. Now, if you think of a man who's struggling with their emotions right now, right? They have some or most, depending on where you guys are. Are you born in like 70s and 80s? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you see yourselves as the breadwinner of your family? Did you see yourselves as men who need to work hard because that was the norm? How did it feel, or how does it feel today when you want to express your emotions, given that now there's mental health content? people now, you know, the content is saying, oh, men can express how they feel. Men can express their emotions and feelings. How does it feel when your mind and emotion and feelings were so closed off, given you didn't really interact with them back in the day, compared to the objective and purpose, which is to work. Now compare that to your emotions and your mental health matters. Do you see it? Do you see your mental health as something that matters today? It's true. I'm a moderator for a woman who does fitness training regularly on YouTube. She has 97k subscribers. I've nearly given up coming on YouTube, but I still do. I do moderate for others. Okay, cool. Woman does fitness training regularly on YouTube. She has 97k subscribers. Fair enough. That's good. Why do you feel like you're giving up coming on YouTube? Let me know what you mean by that. So, yeah. So, like I said, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, nobody, you know, mental health wasn't even spoke about compared to now how it's spoken. I'm going to give you my experience. I have been able to express mental health over the last 3 or 4 years when I started therapy, right? Because I go to therapy, yeah. But I still find it hard. Do you know why? Because when I was in the 90s, but you know what the funny thing is? There is something that people speak about today in mental health is around emotional neglect. Back in the day, there was no such thing as neglecting your emotions because they didn't. I'd expect them to not have mattered in those 60s, 70s, 80s, and the 90s. So, like, expressing your emotions doesn't really matter. So, whatever it is you're going through, you just get up and you get on with it. There's no professional help. There is no way you can express your emotions in an outlet. Compare that to today, where there are multiple outlets where they're encouraging you to express your mental health. I'll come back to that. I was the youngest in my family. I lost my father, my oldest brother, and now life is very difficult looking after my elderly mother who lives alone, and I've separated from my children's mother. Sick of YouTube. Wow. I hear that, man. Wow. That's tough, man. So I mean, when it comes to your mental health, how do you try and cope with it? Do you have any coping mechanisms? Teddy Sack, because it wasn't there. Exactly. It wasn't there back in the day. Now, what I don't know is in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, if anyone was aware that there was something called emotions, you know, because your mind is just constantly, whatever your mind is doing, whatever your mind thinks, whatever your mind processes, you just let it happen because there's no concept of, I can actually go into my mind and recognize what's going on in my mind now. I can voice up about what's going on in my mind now. Obviously, compare that to now. Obviously, you can. So what I'm trying to say is I still struggle because I do express it, but I don't feel like there are enough outlets for men to express their mental health. So, yeah, you might have family and friends and content, social media telling you, yeah, express. Go on, express how you feel. Go on, express how you feel. You know, tell your family, tell your friends. But how difficult is it when some men have been emotionally neglected, right? Don't know how to express their emotions. And even those who are told their emotions don't even matter. So what's the point? So how can you expect a man today to express their emotions when they've been told their emotions don't matter? Mental health I dealt with by myself without any professional help and the struggle. Having a very bad boy as a son and having a daughter also and one grandchild. How do you cope with that? I haven't got children yet, but how do you cope with that? Only I will know when I have children, right? There is a word that I'm going to tell you that puts things in a bit into perspective, and that's called glimmer. Glimmer. If there's any moment that is any moment in your life where you see glimmers of happiness, glimmers of hope, try and cling on to that as best as you can. Because life is hard now. Life is shit in the sense of a lot of sad faces, especially in this country. You know, people wearing masks. You see in London, people on the tubes putting their music in their ears and not interacting with anyone. Nobody's laughing. If there any glimmer of happiness in your life, just grasp it. If it's for a minute, if for 2 minutes, grasp it. Grasp that moment because that moment is yours. That's some advice that I'll give you. Ahmed, have you heard of Jenna Taylor? Luckily, I didn't say it. Luckily, I didn't say it. Coping missing for many sport. Yeah, sport, Ked, I work out a lot. And Yeti can, Paradox can vouch for it. If you look at my channel, I've got loads of workouts. And I do that for my own sort of sanity. People have their own coping mechanisms to be able to help them with their mental health. And I think for men, as I was saying, is that where emotions don't matter, men have outlets because they see that as safety. Do you know what I mean? So like men who can't express to family and friends and haven't found the friendship that'll allow them to express their emotions, we have outlets to exercise. I exercise, I work out a lot. That is my outlet. I do express, but it took me so long to express. It took me like 3 or 4 years. I didn't know what was going on in my head. I felt like shit. This was in my mid-20s. I felt like absolute shit until someone said to me that, you know that men can express now, right? And I'm like, what? Men can express? And I used to say to myself, I'm fine. Because that was the norm. Doesn't matter what you felt. It didn't matter. So you just get on with it. And that's how, even like the 70s and 80s, I'm guessing that's how it was. So now I think there is a bit of a lot more difference. So I don't seek professional help because they are making money from seeing me as a client and they all do prescribe the antidepressants, which I don't take. That's very true. Pharmaceutical is a business. I'm sorry, I'm spelling it. I moved on by leaving all my friends because they were bad influences. Even some families, I just keep myself to myself. I want to talk about that because when your experiences in life, you were growing up around bad people or you have bad people in your life, you abandon yourself from the world because your perception of the world is that I've got all of these, that the world is bad, that the people are bad in the world, because you haven't been able to connect with any good people in your life. So your perception of everyone, you must be in the public is sod everyone. Everyone's the same. There's no good people in this world. Nobody who can connect with me. No one will listen to me. They're all crap. They're horrible people. And then you isolate yourself. You isolate yourself because you think nobody is capable of connecting with you. Does that make sense? I lost all that and I'm doing bad. But okay, yeah. I mean, loss is difficult because you must have gone through, from what you've just said, you've gone through so much. So all I can say is glimmers. Hold on to glimmers in your life, mate. However it is you feel, glimmers for 2 minutes. If you've got a happy moment for those 20 seconds, grasp it, man. Grasp it. Docs, Ian Brown said, keep what you got. Keep what you got by giving it all away. Wow. Keep what you got by giving it all away. Wow. The thing that makes me think about that is possessions. Possessions are going to be taken away. We can have all the possessions we want in the world, but they've got to go anyway. All of this crap that we've got, where we're living, and it ain't ours at the end of the day. It all belongs to the pathetic, the government and whatnot. So we're only using it as a temporary basis to feed ourselves, and then we have to give it all back because we're going to die. Can't take anything with you. Don't gain the world and lose your soul. Fucking love that. Don't lose your soul. Don't sell out. I can't express to nobody because you can't express to nobody because I feel like you've retracted, and again, you've not been able to express to anyone that nobody's been there. But you think you automatically think, no, I'm not being able to express to myself to anyone. My needs don't matter. So what's the point? Is that how it feels? It's like, what's the point expressing to anyone? Nobody's going to listen. Nobody cares. That's what you feel when you're surrounded by people who you think don't care. Docs, yeah. Any bad influence, get rid of them. Yeah, bro. You know what the thing is with like addictions and all of that and bad influences. You know, when you're on your thing is, you can never lie to yourself. In life, you can never lie to yourself. So, no matter what you do in your life and the people you hang around with, your mind and your soul will always tell you if you are doing right or wrong, or that person is right or wrong or not. So there's bad influences. No matter what you think, I'm going to hang around with them, your soul and your mind know. They know the real answer. You cannot lie to yourself on this earth. So, I agree with the bad influences. Get rid of them. I completely agree. People, possessions, influencers on social media, these bullshit. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. KRS. So I just broke up from my girlfriend because she asking from attention from random men in social media, even if she didn't cheat. KRS, it's because she's seeking validation because her soul is lonely. Think of that. Think of that, of what I've just said. She is seeking validation because her soul is lonely. When people seek attention, it's because they want to be heard, because they're not being heard. They want to be accepted externally because they can't accept themselves internally. They can't accept themselves for themselves. They have to seek validation and attention from the outside world. How does that make you feel by just saying that? It's a form of cheating, 100%, bro. Did right to get rid is a form of cheating because the moment you deflect and moment your attention, no matter how minuscule, is on another woman, when you're with someone, you're automatically opening the door to cheat because you're not satisfied with the person's relationship. You're not getting what you want out of that relationship. But KRS, if she's seeking attention from random men, she is lonely. You've done right to get rid, my friend. Right, so some of the stuff around emotions. Yeah, men's emotions didn't matter in the day. Now we're in a world where people are begging men to express and open up. Don't get me wrong. I think it's an amazing thing to open up. I open up. I personally think, I'm quite self-aware. When I feel something's not right, I try and express it in any way I can. And I try to pluck out those weeds that are making me feel like shit. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is it's also very difficult as a man, because if you've not been told to connect and express with your emotions when you were born, right? You are not going to do it unless you get help from someone. Unless you have to go through the hard yards to recognize and change that narrative in your mind that your emotions do matter. At the end of the day, right? The reason why a lot of men don't open up is because they're afraid to do it. Because they're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of comments and that people think express your emotions are weak. It's not weak. What you're trying to do is think of it this way, is that your mind is a software. All you're trying to do is edit and update your own software. Because this mind is just data pulled from your senses, from what we look, what we hear, what we smell, what we see, what we interact with. And it's all data that's processed in here. So if you think of your mind as a software, which includes emotions, And all you want is, like, when you got a computer program, right? You want it to work, right? But there's some faults and whatnot, defects and all that. You'll go on and fix those, right? In order for the software to run, right? That's how your mind should be. See your mind. We have to see the mind as a positive place. And when there are weeds, where there are distractions, where there are, what did docs use that word? Bad influences in them that is impacting how we feel. You need to take action. Take action from that. That's the way I see it personally. I'm listening with great interest. True. Yeah. So I still find it hard to express. There are a lot of, in my mind, there are a lot of things that I'm struggling with. You know, relationships. I've suffered with loneliness as well. A lot. But what I don't do is seek external validation from people in order to make me feel less alone. I work out because it's an outlet and it makes me feel good. I listen to music because the music makes me feel good and it makes me think less. I know I've got some good friends who I can speak with as well, but I don't seek external validation from random people. The only people that do that is because they don't validate themselves for who they are. They can't accept themselves for who they are. Their self-worth is in the gutter. We should treat men nicer, not pressure them so much, and no guy should stay with anyone to fix them. We should treat men nicer and not pressure them. Absolutely agree with that. So much, and no guy should stay with anyone to fix them. Another topic. You've hit the nail on the head. Men are fixers. Men are fixers. By theoretically, the perceptions of men is that they're fixers. So therefore, everything in their life work, and they are responsible for it. They're the jigsaw, they're the cog for, I've got to look after this person's emotions, I've got to go to work, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. So everything holds together. And now men have been set that precedent. Nobody cares about how men feel. Because people in externally know, but this is the men's role, this is their job. So, these pressures around feeding the family, pressures of working, all these pressures are known to man the perception is that men have to just get on with it. But they don't realize, or maybe it's opening up now, and they realize that men have emotions as well. Men can feel sad. Men can feel depressed. Men can feel lonely. And we're in an epidemic right now where men are lonely, man. And I'm telling you, men are lonely, right? And it's sad. It's sad. Like, we're in a world full of loneliness, lonely people, man. People don't interact anymore because they want to go on their phones, and that's the safest way to communicate. They don't want to. This concept of social anxiety. People feel like they're socially anxious now, therefore they don't want to meet people. They'd rather use text because it's safer, and it's messed up, man. If you think about it, it's messed up. I used to be in Bromley when Chowder Road was very bad. So I started social media on Plain Sound. You probably not had my lifestyle growing up in Jamaica and skinhead council estate as a brown Indian man. No, what's your ethnicity, bro? Let me know what your ethnicity is. Yeah, let me know. So yeah, that's just what things I want to express, and I think in other lives I want to continue this topic around men's mental health and around things that I've learned, things that I do that help, and sort of my perceptions on men's mental health and life. But men, it's still tough for men to express, man. It's still tough for men to express. It really is. But all I can say is, if you feel so serious about your mind, your mental health, and you feel like it's low, and you're right. The thing is, you go on, people like doctors prescribe antidepressants because, number one, obviously it's a business. And number two, it's because people either don't have the time or don't grasp the understanding of the mind. How does the mind work? How does the mind operate? They just see a mind that is patterned to be depressed, to be sad, and they need antidepressants to be able to stop feeling that way. But there are ways in which you can stop seeking antidepressants and having antidepressants and for your life to be better. And I'm going to talk about that in future topics because I've never taken antidepressants and I've felt depressed a lot, but I have not taken antidepressants. And I'm so proud of that. But I'm in a sort of position now in my life where I'm able to decipher when I'm feeling sad and how I'm able to just not straight away just flip the script in the sense of being happy, but recognizing you're feeling depressed and feeling like shit. But there are ways in which you can feel better, because at the end of the day, which I'll go to around what are the causes of poor mental health, such as environment, the people that you're with, the influences, your history, your emotional history, your background, the thing, like your senses, from what you read, from what you see, from what you hear. You've got to ensure that the data you inherit in your mind is positive. The moment that sort of happens is the moment your life will change. The moment you set boundaries from bad people and bad influences is the moment your life changes. The moment you surround yourself with helpful friends and family who love you for who you are, your mindset and your mental health is going to change for the better. I'm going to express that. I'm going to speak to it on that a lot more. I'm going to continue to do these lives about men's mental health because I think it's sort of helping, and I'm glad, man. I really appreciate you guys who've been tuning in, man. Honestly, I'll spread the word. If you don't mind, spread this word, leave a like, spread the word, because I want to be able to do this more. And I'll keep putting lives out in advance so that we can talk about different mental. Yeah, docs. You know what? That's something to celebrate. No synthetic medicine. That is something to celebrate, right? You've got to understand when you're feeling a certain way and what to do about it, because there is material that out there that teaches you how to feel better about yourself. So I'm going to touch on that in future lives. Mixed family, all ethnicity in my family now. Okay, makes sense. I have coaches. Exactly, Anthony. Yeah, I'm trying to be spiritual these days. Yeah, I think spiritually really does help. It helps to, I guess it helps to not ignore your present life, but recognize that through spirituality brings peace. But at the same time, there are also moments where you think of a mind that's patterned. A mind that's patterned will always think a certain way, will always act a certain way, will always behave a certain way. Spirituality helps you to keep your mind calm, make you think differently in the sense of thinking about things that make you feel good in that moment, make you feel relaxed and obviously calm emotionally, right? And it does help, because you've got to look at all of this data that we've inherited. It comes from trauma. We've got wounds in our body that impact how we feel. All of that stuff needs to be unpicked, right? All needs to be unpicked. We've all got wounds, man, from the past that we carry, meaning that we can't speak to people in the right way because of what they may have done to us. We don't want to interact with them because we're carrying the wound from what they've done to us. The stresses of life as well, as you've mentioned, bad children, you've got, unfortunately, you haven't got, from what you've mentioned, is that your kids are not very helpful for yourself and you're on your own. Your perception of your life is essential. If your perception of life is always doom and gloom, your life is always going to be doom and gloom. If your perception of life is, yes, I've had struggles, but my struggles are my strength, and in this moment. I'm living in peace. I'm living in harmony. Nobody is sort of gaslighting, distorting my reality in the present moment. Then you'll see life a little bit more differently. It's all about perception. It's all about what you tell yourself. Anthony, I was raised Ayurvedically, all natural medicine. I'm Buddhist and a shamanic leader. Is shamanic healer. Okay, that's good. So that's really, really good. Really, really good. You're a, what's that called? Shamanic healer? What can you let me know what that means? I don't know what that shamanic means, if I've pronounced that right. Yeah, I relate to what you say. So yeah, it's nearly an hour and I've been chatting about men's mental health. I'm going to be doing certain topics around mental health. I do a lot of writing on mental health and I want to be able to express it in lives like this, along with my workouts. But anyone who's interested in a workout fitness library, it's just a Word document with all different kinds of training, calisthenics, bodyweight workouts. Tune in at 8 o'clock tomorrow. That'll be really good. I want to be able to spread this far and wide for people who want to get on their journey, and it's just material. I just want to share with everyone, and I'll keep building these workouts for people who just want them. Munaiki, Aboriginal healing, ancient. Okay, got it. That makes sense. So you're sort of well adept in terms of spirituality and healing from past trauma and past traumas, right? So that's what I'm getting out of that. So guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope whoever's been listening, obviously yourselves who've been tuning in, it's been very, very insightful and helpful, and it's been great to communicate with you guys. I really, really appreciate your time. I'll keep doing these lives. Just please let me know, how it's felt, and if it's been very, very engaging. Docs, appreciate it. Anthony, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm 50 Cent. 50 Cent, big up in the club. Yeah, I remember some. I grew up from 50 Cent like in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. Man, back in the day, that music, the crap that they put out now in terms of rap, the crap they put out now, honestly, it's just like they're just spewing out filth. Like there's so like the B.I.G., Tupac, all the lyrics in those days. The music in those days, can't beat it. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Big salute, and I'll be back. I might try and do these weekly or a couple of times a week, just to chit chat about the topics of men's mental health. I'll be back on it next time. Peace, everyone. Have a great weekend, and let's keep training and keep strong. Signing out.